press the bell icon on the YouTube app to ensure you never miss a new video from News Laundry.
Hello and welcome to News Laundry Interviews. This is Amit Bhardwaj. Even before the presidential elections were declared, speculation started who would become the next president of India. All eyes were focused on Congress Party, the opposition party. Why? It was a question for Congress Party whether it will be able to bring together all the opposition parties in one camp and pose a serious challenge to National Democratic Alliance, or to be precise, Bharatiya Janata Party, before the 2019 general elections. Like always, BJP President Amit Shah surprised everyone by announcing Ramnath Kovind as the presidential candidate of NDA. Now, the ball was in Nitish Kumar's court, the Chief Minister of Bihar and the President of Janata Dal-United. Like the last time, when Pranab Mukherjee was contesting presidential elections, Nitish Kumar came out of the opposition camp and supported NDA's candidate. Today we have with us National Spokesperson of Janata Dal-United and National General Secretary of the party, Mr. Pavan Varma. Welcome, sir. Janata Dal-United fought Bihar elections with alliance with Rashtriya Janata Dal of Lalu Yadav and Congress Party, basically the arch rivals of BJP. But in the past few months, or to be precise 7-8 months, India has witnessed that Nitish Kumar and Janata Dal-United has supported BJP, or to be precise Narendra Modi's every big policy change. Why so?
I think you have to understand that individual parties can take a position on national issues without necessarily questions being asked about their ideological fidelity. And Mr. Nitish Kumar has had a history of judging issues on their individual merits. I think you yourself mentioned that when he was a member of the NDA, he supported the UPA candidate, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, because in his assessment, on the basis of Mr. Mukherjee's experience and track record, he was a better person to occupy the highest post of the land. Let me give you two more examples, or I can give you several more.
Yeah.
Take GST. Mr. Nitish Kumar supported GST when the BJP and the NDA were opposing it and in fact delayed it by several years. And when the NDA government came to power and introduced the GST bill, he was the one who supported it. Again, in other words, there was a total consistency on what he said. Take the issue of demonetization. I want to clear the record. On demonetization, he was a leader who said that we support the intent behind demonetization as an instrument to curb or eliminate corruption.
Why not question the implementation?
And in fact, he was the one who said that the implementation could have been much better. And in fact, I was present when on stage, he agreed with Dr. Manmohan Singh that it was a monumental failure. In other words, he took a position which was not an immediate, absolute, mechanical, reflex reaction of condemning it, assessed it, and then said, we need to wait to see what the results are. But so far we have seen the implementation is poor, but the intent behind it of curbing corruption is good. So in other words, to sum it up, he takes positions on issues based on the merit of it.
Don't you think that criticism of demonetization was too little and too late? If you see what Mamata Banerjee did, or what Arvind Kejriwal for that matter, a party which is hardly 5 years old, they were aggressively campaigning against demonetization, the failures in implementation.
Do you know what Mr. Manmohan Singh, former Prime Minister of India and a reputed economist himself, did you hear his statement in Parliament? He supported demonetization, but called it a failure in implementation. And the second point is, why should the JDU be a clone of the TMC or the AAP party? On many issues, they have a different position. On other issues, we are entitled to hold a different position. For instance, take the surgical strike, which Mr. Nitish Kumar supported, because he said the matter of defense is in the hands of the current government, and if they have taken this action, taking all factors into account, it's not for the opposition to say at this moment that it's right or wrong. But even before he supported the surgical strike, who supported it? Do you know? It was the Congress party. So every party on any issue can take a position, and it should not be judged for its long-term ideological fidelities or loyalties or purity, if such a word can be used, on the basis of these contingent issues, on the presidential election which you began with.
Yeah. I was coming to this question only. I remember a day, May 1st, Madhu Limaye's memorial lecture in Delhi. What we see is Congress party leader Digvijay Singh, CPI leader D. Raja, CPM leader Yechuri, and KC Tyagi and Sharad Yadav on stage. It was first attempt to show a larger alliance, or if we can call it mahagathbandhan, at the center for the presidential elections. But JDU was the first party to walk out of that camp.
You must understand, are you actually giving the seriousness that it deserves to the whole project of opposition unity? One meeting, one book launch, one forum, few parties. I'm sorry, what Mr. Nitish Kumar has said 2 days ago is that opposition unity, and incidentally he was the first person, and if you go back and see the footage of the book launch of Mr. Chidambaram, where he was sitting on stage, and this is before the UP elections, he said the crying need of the hour is opposition unity. And the leadership is not the important matter. He turned to Rahul Gandhi, who was sitting in the first row, and he said, you can lead it. What he said then and what he repeated now is that this is a serious project, and for that project, first and foremost, what you need is a credible narrative and an alternative vision of India, not merely contingent unity of a partial nature on a reactive basis on one issue or one forum or one event.
But don't you think this is creating confusion in the mind of voters?
I think the voters are very clear, but some political parties refuse to understand that you cannot take on whom you wish to oppose by either crafting a slogan or sporadically attacking or reacting reactively or reacting on the basis merely of opposition, but that this country is crying out to find an opposition with a cohesive agenda, an ideology which is considered and then articulated, and which is able to actually project a profile of balance, of critique with substance.
Two questions I would ask. Which are the parties you are referring to when you say some parties?
I would say that this torchlight of introspection needs to go across the opposition spectrum. And I include even my own party. But it is Mr. Nitish Kumar who has said that there have been too many mistakes made in the past. The BJP, you must understand, is a relentless electoral machine. If you want to take on the BJP, for instance, then your plank should be first and foremost defined by a credible narrative, for which, incidentally, you have to meet to draw out the issues, be it the farmers' issue, be it the lack of creation of jobs, be it the atmosphere of the lack of religious and social harmony, be it cow vigilantism, whatever your vision, and we have a vision, and we have our position. But first come together on a credible narrative, which is what the voter wants. So, can we do that seriously or can we not?
There's another question why, again, I'll come back to the presidential elections. When the Bihar elections happened, when Grand Alliance came into shape, the entire election was fought on the ideological ground. It was clearly an ideological battle between the opposition parties, which claimed to be secular, and the BJP, which was alleged of being involving into communal politics. What changes in the presidential elections then?
I'll tell you what. First of all, let me clarify to you as a factual basis. The Mahagathbandhan in Bihar, and this was clarified by Mr. C.P. Joshi, the National General Secretary of the Congress, was specific to Bihar, and that each of the constituents were free to take issues on national matters as they thought fit. Now, as far as the presidential choice is concerned, Mr. Ramnath Kovind was the governor of Bihar. Mr. Nitish Kumar had the opportunity to interact with him over a period of 2 years. During that period, he found that Mr. Kovind acted impartially, respected constitutional propriety, was offered the right courtesies, and was actually in his actions above party politics. He also was aware, which many leaders in the opposition were not, that Mr. Kovind is not from the RSS. Mr. Kovind started his career as private secretary to Mr. Morarji Desai. He joined the BJP in 1990. Now, with the NDA having the collegium, it's hardly likely that they would put up a UPA candidate. So they put up a BJP candidate. Mr. Nitish Kumar on merit supported him. And by the way, I want to make the point to you. Unless you want to ask me something before that, he called up Mrs. Sonia Gandhi 48 hours before the opposition meeting and presented all these facts and added the point that the choice for the highest post of the land is not necessarily a matter of confrontation. And given Mr. Kovind's profile, behavior,
will he be able to uphold the... He's a good choice.
He told Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. But what happened? Mrs. Sonia Gandhi said, we will keep this factor in mind when we meet for the opposition parties. Next day, Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad, for whom I have great respect otherwise, came to Patna and publicly said that irrespective, the UPA will put up a candidate to oppose the BJP candidate. When he made that public announcement, Mr. Nitish Kumar, since we are not members of the UPA, and he had already spoken with the Congress president, he made public his support for Mr. Kovind. What's the politics about this?
Okay, let me come to a few details which Congress has accused JDU of. Congress said that Gopal Krishna Gandhi's name was proposed by Mr. Nitish Kumar for the presidential post. Is it true?
Mr. Nitish Kumar had not only discussed Mr. Kovind, but before that, remember, there had been 2 meetings of the opposition. He himself had met Mrs. Sonia Gandhi in April. And Mr. Gopal Krishna Gandhi's name was suggested by Mr. Nitish Kumar. And please try and imagine the scenario if a more proactive opposition had come out with a name prior to the NDA.
What stopped JDU from being active or leading the opposition for that matter?
In fact, the decision was to be made by the opposition. A name was suggested and it was said that it would be taken up. 3 meetings were held, there was no consensus. You will kindly recall the meeting where after a great deal of suspense, opposition leaders would emerge and say, we will let you know who we want to.
Right.
Meanwhile, when the opposition did not as yet announce its candidate.
Collective failure of the opposition?
Certainly, I believe the opposition needs to very seriously introspect. Not only about this issue, which we do not believe is a matter necessarily of confrontation, but the failure of the opposition is that at a time when there are so many issues on which there needs to be opposition unity on a pan-Indian basis in an organized manner, the opposition has not even begun the process by crafting a credible narrative and an alternative vision of India.
I'll come back to the narrative part. If you see the Bihar politics right now, on one hand you have BJP which is aggressively attacking RJD. And then you have JDU, which it appears that JDU is in a very comfort zone where it is not involved in political activism or aggressive political language as far as taking down BJP is concerned for its policies at the center as well as the opposition in Bihar.
I think that you have really not understood once again what Mr. Nitish Kumar said. And I'd like to clarify for you. He said, can we build an opposition that in 2019 is in a position to ensure that its candidate for the 2022 presidential election wins, rather than base its so-called attempt at unity on the surety, almost guaranteed surety, of their candidate losing. In other words, his commitment
to opposition. But in politics, it's also about perception, sir, right?
So his commitment...
You fight so that it appears you are fighting.
No. A fight for the sake of a fight is not necessarily the foundations of opposition unity unless you've also examined the issues, the merits of the issues, the importance of the cause, and above all, as I keep repeating to you, the opposition needs to find a plank where it is allowed.
What is that plank?
That plank, and
I'm
glad you've asked the question. Let me give you its components as I see them, and as I think the JDU sees them. First of all, it has to stop being reactive. It has to be proactive. And you will be happy to know that the senior most Congress leadership is today saying the same. It needs to have a credible narrative. In other words, to offer something to the people rather than merely every time only opposing post events.
Right.
Thirdly, it must offer an alternative vision of India, which we believe is the idea of India as we would like to see it flourish in our country. Fourthly, it must be backed by an organizational machinery. Merely slogans don't make opposition unity. A ragtag coalition of opposition parties will increase the seats of the BJP by at least 50. You need
because
to
the
have
new project on one side, you have Narendra Modi on the other side.
A ragtag coalition does not work. It needs a cohesive ideology, agreed upon. It needs organizational machinery. It needs a pan-India framework, and it needs the instruments to project and promote this in a proactive, non-reactive manner. Do we have it at the moment? Tell me. Okay, you watch politics also.
I'll rephrase things.
Yes.
We have farmers' protests going on across the country. We have terror instilled by Gorakshaks in the country, and then the culture of mob lynching, which is increasing day by day. And the opposition fails to, bring these issues together and fight the government, because these are the important issues.
You are saying what I am saying. There is no dearth of issues.
So why?
There is a great dearth of opposition, cohesion, cohesiveness, strategy, structure,
who will lead?
Organizational reach.
Who will lead? If Congress fails, does it mean that India will not have any opposition which can bring together all these issues?
We are not saying that anything is one-party centric. But we believe that all those who oppose much of what is happening today should make the effort to take the project of opposing what they believe is wrong far more seriously and in a far more organized manner than they have been doing so far.
Okay. But Nitish Kumar has not been critical of all these things. I mean, when compared to, for that matter, Arvind Kejriwal or Mamata Banerjee or other leaders.
I don't know why you keep this touchstone. I'm sorry, because I think that it's something that I will strongly, strongly oppose. Let me say. If you have studied Mr. Nitish Kumar, he has been exceptionally critical about the handling of the agrarian crisis. He has been consistently condemnatory on the atmosphere of hatred on the basis of religious divides, including on the issue of cow lynching. In fact, you see his press conference day before. He has been. But if the manner in which he does it or the language he uses is not like Mamata Banerjee or Arvind Kejriwal in a sense.
Or for that matter, Lalu Yadav.
In a sense, I am happy for it. Because each leader has a style and personality of his own. Have you ever seen Mr. Nitish Kumar? I ask this you in a lighter moment as an observer of Indian politics. Ever lose his cool in public in the use of language?
I believe not.
Because that is his Shaili. That's his idiom of politics. That even if you are critical, you must do so in a manner that does not breach the decorum and etiquette of public behavior.
I'll bring back to the Bihar politics. Sushil Modi, the leader of opposition, had said that, I believe it was in April, that BJP, JDU and Nitish Kumar would be more comfortable with BJP when it comes to alliance. Do you think so? Is that right?
Mr. Sushil Modi can hardly be faulted for believing this. He's part of the opposition, and Mr. Nitish Kumar and the NDA was a part of the NDA. Mr. Sushil Modi was his deputy chief minister. So if he believes that Mr. Nitish Kumar could in some manner come back to the NDA, how can you fault him? But by his saying so, is that going to happen?
No, I'm asking whether JDU, which is a more natural ally to JDU, NDA,
Right
BJP.
now, Mr. Nitish Kumar has made his position crystal clear. He is not joining the BJP, and he believes the most important project for the country is to strengthen opposition unity, but not, I repeat, not in an ad hoc, casual, sporadic, reactive manner, but by investing the energy a project of this seriousness deserves. Can we rise to the challenge or can we not? That is the question.
There are several allegations against the Lalu Yadav family, to be precise, Daughter Misa Bharti and Tej Pratap. And let me be clear, these allegations are from the side of BJP, the opposition in Bihar. Why is Nitish Kumar, he has remained silent on all these issues?
Do you expect Mr. Nitish Kumar in a matter which is an allegation made and is being investigated by the designated authorities to intervene and say, I will come in at this stage? What he has said and what is appropriate is that the law will take its course, and as it should. But he has also said, and I have said as his national spokesperson, that the fight against corruption, while laudable, should not be selective. In other words, only leaders of the opposition must not be targeted. But I often wonder whether this cage parrot, also known as the CBI, is planning to do something about Lalit Modi and Rajasthan.
Right.
About the land scam in Gujarat, about the pace of investigation of Vyapam in Madhya Pradesh, about the PDS scam in Chhattisgarh, on how Vijay Mallya was allowed to leave, and a score of
Isn't
other
it
issues.
hurting JDU's image, tarnishing JDU's image when these allegations come against the Lalu's family, because you are in alliance with the party?
Allegations have been made unless they are proven in a court of law and there is conviction. At this moment, I can tell you the mahagathbandhan in Bihar is strong and is working effectively.
You have already said that JDU is not walking out of mahagathbandhan as far as this 5 years are concerned, until 2020, I believe, right, before the next elections.
Keane said in the long run we are all dead. I am talking to you that in the foreseeable future, our commitment to the mahagathbandhan, for which we have received an overwhelming mandate by the people of Bihar, is atut, unbreakable, and our commitment to it is there completely.
But if we compare the first 10 years when you were part of, JDU was part of the NDA in Bihar, now you have spent almost 2.5 years, which was a more comfortable position for JDU or Nitish Kumar for that matter?
I think he's absolutely comfortable as the Chief Minister of Bihar with
but then you also have RJD leaders attacking Mr. Kumar.
No, within a coalition, you will have a situation. Do you think it didn't happen when we were members of the NDA? I don't want to name the leaders who would attack Mr. Nitish Kumar almost every week. But Mr. Nitish Kumar's position as the leader of the alliance in Bihar, when he was a member of the NDA, was unassailable then, and today when he heads the mahagathbandhan in Bihar, it's unassailable today.
Okay. Again, coming back to the Gaurakshaks and mob lynching, whom do you hold responsible for this culture?
Certainly, I would hold the BJP, RSS and its affiliates. And there is no point in saying that the VHP is not part of us, or the Bajrang Dal is not part of us, or the Gaurakshaks are not part of us. Let me be clear to you. In fact, with great respect, I wish to say, if after Muhammad Akhlaq was lynched, the Prime Minister had come out immediately and without any ambivalence condemning such kind of actions, much that has been wrong following this would not have happened. You cannot speak too little, too late. कहने को बहुत कुछ था अगर कहने पर आते, पर अपनी तो ये आदत है कि कुछ नहीं कहते. There is no point in saying too little, too late.
Right.
Because if you see the analysis, in which states are these lynchings happening? The majority of them are happening in BJP ruled states. Because those who are perpetrating it believe somehow that they have the benign protection of the powers that be.
Like in Pehlu Khan's case, you see Rajasthan minister coming out and defending and questioning the entire episode itself.
Haryana? Right. What I'm trying to say is that it is first of all a slap on the face of Hinduism. It devalues my religion and I'm proud to be a Hindu. This kind of mindless violence, where people take law into their own hands, devalues my culture, my civilization, my religion. And those responsible for it, I'm afraid to say, not sufficient action is being taken against them. And the Prime Minister playing BJP playing good cop, bad cop. This happens and the Prime Minister makes a speech. Several weeks later saying, what is happening? Is he saying that nobody listens to me anymore?
For instance, in Junaid's case, who was the boy, 16-year boy who was lynched on the train, no BJP minister from the state or leader from the state went to meet the family. So sends a message, right?
The bias is very obvious. We've had many incidents in UP recently, and people in the BJP don't understand, and its affiliates. I don't make personalized attacks, but I believe that this country can ultimately run on the basis only of coexistence and respect for all faiths.
On one hand, you have the failing opposition, the parties who are have not been able to attack BJP. On the other hand, when 16-year-old Junaid is lynched, thousands of people across the country come out on streets and they say, we don't want any political party to come out and support us, but we will protest against this and we will stand against the culture of mob lynching. Do you see a hope as well as an indication that common masses are frustrated about the opposition parties as well?
That, I think, was a great development, not in my name, where people across the country, even if numbers were small, came out and said, enough. And one of the reasons why they said political parties are not required and made it a citizens' movement is because thus far, those parties in opposition to this have not demonstrated their optimal efficiency and effectiveness in coming together in an organized manner to protest many such issues. And that is the project that is incomplete, and that is what Mr. Nitish Kumar is pointing to.
But will Mr. Nitish Kumar walk the way and tell that this is how it has to be done? This is how the machinery needs to be built?
If the JDU has to do it, we will.
But because you are the only credible opposition in...
But we are not the... We are a small party. The opposition is...
Of one of the biggest states of India.
Yeah, but still we are a small party and we have no illusions on that score. Mr. Nitish Kumar is the first to. But he has a vision on national issues. And he realizes that just like the NDA is a coalition, the country is crying out for a second alternative. If you are a voter today, between BJP and Mr. Narendra Modi, do you have a credible choice which is
that's what I said,
which is pan-Indian on scale and presents a cohesive front, not a ragtag coalition? Do you have the choice?
People are disenchanted right now.
Correct. So you have to fill that void.
Who will do this? Who will do?
I think that
Mamata Banerjee, Nitish Kumar, Arvind Kejriwal, or any other Lalu Yadav.
All those who wish or believe that many of the things happening today need a counter narrative. Not everything is wrong that is happening today.
Or should we give power to the students' faces, the youth faces?
The modalities, the leadership, the participation will all be decided once the opposition comes together, those who wish to oppose. And I want to reiterate, first build your credible narrative. First offer to the people in a manner which reaches to them an alternative vision of India. Put down your principles and what you will stand for and fight for. And everything else, believe me, as a political leader, I can tell you, will fall in place. But there are no shortcuts in politics.
One last question. You were talking that a credible voice, credible narrative must be built, right? But then what is this alternative narrative or credible narrative? Because in the masses right now, when I was in the, I took the same train on which Junaid was murdered, lynched. And when you speak to people, you see that there is a certain amount of legitimacy which has been given to hate crime or the crime against Dalits or Muslims in this country. And that has been achieved by the political parties or its different tools or small organizations. There's a sentiment of majority victimhood in the country. How the opposition will build a narrative where it makes the people believe, people who participated in Not in My Name, people who are silent right now, that we must speak today against the communal politics in the country, against the mob lynching, against the Gorakshaks, or otherwise it will be too late?
You answered the question for me partly. If there appears to be a dominant legitimacy for those who we believe, are supporting what is inimical to the idea of India, part of the reason is that we have an ineffective opposition. You cannot oppose that which you think is wrong if you don't have the organizational or ideological strength to do it. And that is why,
and
once
all
again...
the opposition parties are responsible for this, including JDU?
I think I have said in the beginning, and I will repeat, the entire opposition needs to introspect, even electorally. If we say that cow lynchings are going on more in BJP-ruled states, why have more states become BJP-ruled? Why did we lose Assam? Why did we lose Jharkhand? Why did we lose Maharashtra? Why did we lose Goa? Why have we done so poorly in UP? How are we preparing ourselves to face the challenge in Gujarat? This is not only a matter of ideology, which we are clear about, but which we need to put cohesively, but organization, decision making, strategy, planning, effort. If you want to know how the mahagathbandhan was created in Bihar, it's a copybook example of how oppositions, when they get together, should work.
Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you.